Here in Mind Shift Mechanics, we talk about principles of human and organizational performance. And today we're going to watch a video that goes a bit outside of the scope of what you would normally talk about. We've all had intrusive thoughts. We're going to see somebody who lets their intrusive thoughts win. We're going to touch on concepts like, is this an error? Is this a violation? Why did actions seem to make sense at the time? And we're going to talk about really kind of a concept of how do you deal with toxic people and toxic work groups. If you think there should be more videos of this type of quality, like this video, put some information in the comments and share the video. We'll be interested in hearing what you think you would do to handle a situation like this. George, let's watch this video. This video has a serious language warning. We're going to watch a viral video, and there's a lot of cuss words. Be warned.
I've been waiting on this day to tell you how much I hate this house. The waters, all the shit that you order, all of the shit, I hate it. I hate this house. I hate that you order shit. You are lazy house in this whole goddamn neighborhood. You're inconsiderate. You're full of shit. I hate everything about y'all. I hate it. All you have to do is order the store from Walmart pickup or Central pickup or whatever and go put the shit in your own truck and go do it. You are the laziest sons of bitches ever. And then people bring this shit. We break our backs, we break our necks, we break our nails, we break everything to bring you this shit. And you're ungrateful. I hope you know that.
Oh my God, they even broke their nails.
They broke their nails.
Wow.
He stopped and he took a picture, like to show it was delivered. So let me just go back on this for a second. I want to ask this question. I mean, was that in the parlance of HPI, a violation? Was this right here? Was this a deliberate act? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, definitely deliberate act.
There, I delivered it, MRFer. I want to hear what that person said again. They said something. I hate this house.
Oh
George,
my goodness. Where do you want to start on this?
let's take a look at what some of the comments say. Is that all right?
Yep.
In the video, let's just talk about what some of
I'm
the comments.
curious about that. Yeah.
Somebody said, pretty sure she quit before doing this. She did say she's been waiting for this day. Okay, so this is who sang the song "Take This Job and Shove It"? Was that who was that? Come on, I gotta know. Was that Waylon Jennings?
Johnny Paycheck.
Johnny Paycheck, of course. That's the Johnny Paycheck move. She was waiting for this. That was the day. She's not going to break any more nails. I mean,
right.
Okay, let's keep going on these comments. Let's see what people say. I mean, here's the thing. And somebody says, if a company offers that service, somebody's going to use it. And also somebody said in the comments, you don't know that these people don't, maybe people don't have some mobility issues or something, I guess,
Right.
or some health issues that they can't go out, right? I mean, I think we did see 3 people from that all were like, I hate this house type of reaction. Am I right? I think we saw 3 separate people behave.
I thought it was the same one all the time.
Oh, well, okay, let's watch again, because I think it's 3 separate people. We play it again.
I've been waiting on this day to tell you how much I hate house. The waters, all the shit that you order, all of the shit, I hate it. I hate this house. I hate that you order shit. You are the laziest house in this whole goddamn neighborhood. You're inconsiderate. You're full of shit. I hate everything about y'all. I hate it. All you have to do is order the store from Walmart pickup or Central pickup or whatever, and go put the shit in your own truck and go do it yourself. You are the laziest sons of bitches ever. And then people bring this shit. We break our backs, we break our necks, we break our nails, we break everything to bring you this shit. And you're ungrateful. I hope you know that.
I take it wasn't her first trip to the house.
It is the same person.
You know, the one thing that comes to mind for me, she knew the job was delivering packages, didn't she?
It's you kind of got to start there. I mean, are you surprised at what this job entails? That's what I mean. That was what I thought. I mean, it's kind of a first reaction.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see like it's not like this house like the sprinklers automatically turn on every time somebody comes around there, right?
Do you
Or
see?
you have to run from the dog,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It was nothing more than delivering a bunch of packages. What do you see that in your professional career? People that are just pissed about doing the job they knew they signed up for?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've all seen it. I think that there could be a cultural element where that mindset can be almost like entitled.
Yeah.
And I think that it can become reinforcing, self-reinforcing, where if other people pile on that perception then can that sort of reaction can become normalized.
Mm-hmm.
um it,
Ah,
I mean,
I,
I'll just as you asked that. I mean, I think through my career I remember, I mean, well, I know I remember a lot of that would not have been a wildly atypical action from some people. And I think that, and this is going back a long time, probably 20 years, maybe, or a little bit less, but management, was afraid to confront it. And my belief is that in a room of 20, 30 people who do physical frontline work, right? You might end up getting one or two, or maybe a kind of a small club or clique of people who build up that type of anger and are ready to express it and are ready to maybe it's different than what I just said. It's maybe that more willing to perceive lots of different things in the environment, from the way the customers do things to management changes, are personal slights, are personal attacks, right? And I think that so then that can kind of grow, right? Kind of become a toxic culture. But then I think that usually in those rooms, at least 50% of the people just like, I just want to do my job, right? And I don't want to get
right.
up in your drama, right? But there can be a runaway effect where maybe those voices become louder and more dominant, and you're like, I'm just going to sit here and not say anything. Um, One of the ways, and actually, as we think about this, I now recognize several work groups that I recall going through this, being that having this sort of toxic, I guess I'd say toxic culture. One of the techniques to deal with that is to simply break up the work group, right? So if instead of it, hey, we east operations now becomes northeast and southwest operations, right? Or northeast and southeast operations, and they go into physical different reporting locations, and just that type of shakeup seems to help. Um, you know,
Is it because people kind of feed on each other? You know, you get somebody starts complaining. I've seen this happen before, and then somebody else, and then they're going back and forth, and they, in some strange way, they get some reward from trying to out bitch the other one.
yeah, right. I mean, it does what you said. Um, And it's interesting of the conversations we've had. This is so almost like maybe one of the most outside of the realm of normal principles of human and organizational performance, right? Because some of the fundamental questions or principles start with like, who knows the solutions? The worker, right? And in a just culture, we designed the system to enable the worker. The information we've got here, right, looks like an unjust reaction of the worker to the conditions.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
information we have here does not look like the conditions are overly harmful.
No.
Right? The information we have here looks like it is a customer who's using the service that this company is designed to provide. There can maybe be, this gets, certainly outside of maybe, this maybe gets more into social, national politics and stuff, but there can maybe be a sense of like entitlement, have and have nots. Like you sit in your McMansion and you won't even come to the door, and I deliver apparently a lot, of product every day. I'm sort of a servant to you and I'm never even seen, right?
Why do you, I mean, she delivers packages. What's the difference with this? If she's just got a bunch, is it because she has to get her two-wheeled dolly out and load up all these packages? Are there time pressures at work to complete the thing? It could be any of those, right? She
Yeah.
just may, in her mind, think she's got a shitty job and life sucks.
I don't know, George. I mean, this is an interesting video to analyze
Yeah,
because
yeah.
every one of our workplaces has people who have some version of those thoughts.
Now, in your opinion, do you have to deal with those? Does one bad apple spoil a whole bunch? Is it like, John Gordon and the energy bus, right? You have to
Yes.
kick these people off the bus. Do you think that's really what you got to do? You got to deal with this one way or the other, right?
I absolutely, I think, I mean, I think there are other people, and if in the comments, this is what I'd like to hear, right? I don't believe I have, well, I want to hear other people's thoughts about this topic, right? When you've got, are you on board with my term, like the toxic culture?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great.
So, I mean, look, I have been the work group supervisor of what I would call toxic work groups a lot. And things that I would do, I felt, at the time, I felt like I had my strongest power bases were interpersonal influence and deliverance of like respect. The position of power, like I'd say, like the legitimacy power. Like, I mean, I think everybody knew as a frontline supervisor, I didn't have the power to just fire somebody or to do really very much meaningfully from an HR standpoint. So I didn't push that button very much. But what I would do, and I remember this multiple times, is I would go to talk to people in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And I would coach them. We're getting ready to do a thing. Like we're bringing in an outside guest. They're going to be presenting, and you're going to be respectful, right? And I don't want you, I don't want to hear it, right?
Right.
And I would challenge them in advance, right? And here's this is a little bit of an example. Kind of worked hard to bring in a subject matter expert on a really sophisticated technical device used by the work groups, right? And I think the work groups were used to low quality training, right? And they would express that, right? And they would express it not quite like throwing tomatoes from the audience, but that was the feeling of respect that would be given to most of the people who would show up, right? And they thought, why was it low training? Why was it low quality? It didn't really relate directly to their work. It didn't have an appreciation of the real challenges. It was implementing procedures that really didn't address what they perceived were the problems. Okay, so in this one moment, I remember, I'm bringing in this, I got this guy from New Mexico who invented this complicated technical machine that people used. And, I took him around to work groups. And the typical reaction would be people would sit in the back of the room, many of them with their sunglasses on and their hats down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, this is getting into the nuances, but one of the things I've learned to do over the, if you know your room design is probably maybe makes half of the difference in how the quality is going to be of that interpersonal work group training or meetings, right? And so, I remember one particular case where all these guys were lined up against the back of the room, and I said, would you please be respectful and come sit up here? You know, and I said, I think that you will find that this training is worth your time more than anything else. And the person who's here, this is their fourth presentation today, and their voice is running out, but I believe you will get a lot out of this. And so they moved up to the front. And so why am I telling you that, right? That I've been around a lot of work groups where that really insidious kind of toxic culture.
Yeah.
Just like the fact, like, if you're not going to have the respect to kind of at least be a bit warm and open to a guest coming in to talk to you, I think that's like in a category of a toxic culture.
Well,
I think management's got to do something about it, and it does create this sort of peer pressure effect, right? Where now I'm going to put myself in the uncool club if I don't act like these other guys.
Well, and I think everyone's curious what happened. These people moved up to the front.
Oh, it was
go?
great training. It was great training, and I did hear someone say, that was, and I think maybe it was even, I think I heard somebody say that was the best training we've ever had here. Now, that is a backhanded compliment, right? But I would take it, right? That's the best training we've ever had here, which meant you as a company leader continue to deliver to us training that doesn't meet our needs. Finally, you did,
And
there was an insult and a request for more of that.
Yeah, showing that respect to people. I think that's a lot of it, right? Is just show people you care, that they're valued and what they do is important. Now, there's going to be some people that you just aren't going to respond.
That's right. That is
They've
correct.
got other things going on in their life. They're just never going to be there.
That's correct. There's there's in comic book movies, there's the Joker that they say that about the Joker that some people just want to see the world burn, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's the cliched statement that nobody comes to work to get hurt, right? There's that saying, and then the pivot version of that saying is, are you coming to work with the goal to not get hurt, right? Or whatever, there's a kind of a pivot on that. My observation is there's always some percentage of people who derive satisfaction from disrupting the order, right?
Yeah.
And
you have to deal with them.
And some people's management style is to try to do direct control, right? Increasing pressure, right? But I like to try to do some subtle things that just kind of work automatically, and simply relocating geographical rearrangement of work groups. Now, maybe that's an easy thing to say and a hard thing to do for some organizations, but just breaking up the group.
You have to do something though, right? Have you ever seen this resolve itself without anybody doing anything?
No, and it's not fair to the people who do want to just come in here. I'm just trying to do my job, right? It's unfair to them.
Yeah. All right. What would you like to see in the comments, Sam? That was super interesting.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we'll be interested in if people think that we are analyzing this video the way they would, right?
Sure.
We didn't demonstrate a great deal of sympathy to this person. Even though I think we tried to, be fair, or at least, There's the fundamental question of human and organizational performance is, why did actions seem to make sense at the time?
Hmm.
I think we analyzed through some of that. The point of that question, though, is it still might have been the wrong decision after you understand. It doesn't make it doesn't, you're not building an excuse for a person. And so I'm interested in people think we were unjust in the way we
Yeah.
analyze this. And, but I'm really interested in people, you know, it gets in, human and organizational performance. It touches on a variety of, knowledge domains. Sociology and psychology are two of those. What do people think you should do, like within the realm of human and organizational performance, to address those toxic people in the workforce?
Or if they've had success, can they share what worked for them?
Yeah, right.
All right, Sam. Excellent. You know what? I think I hear somebody at the door. It's probably that package I ordered. So I
Okay.
I
All
gotta
right.
go now.
All right. Go. Make sure that they feel valued. All right.
I'll do that.
Okay. All right. Bye, George.
Bye, Sam.